Welcome to Odds.com, Odds HQ. I'm Trot Wam, Wam OG. This is your NBA coverage for Friday, February 12th, 2021. Again, Jimmy the Bag is not here. He's on a great, well-respected leave. Congratulations to him and the missus on the beautiful baby. You know what I'm saying? Congrats there. But in the meantime, we're here to give you guys some ways to find some money and get you guys paid in full as well. So we're coming off a pretty good day. We had 3-1, 3-1 the last four picks on the last game. We did miss out on the Hornets. We did have the Hornets plus 4.5. Does seem like Memphis just came out and shot really well in that game, but we'll go into detail there. But for the most part, we're just going to break down the games that we have for you today. I do have a few games selected, and we should be able to find some money now. Being up feels good. Before last game, I was down about 1 unit or so. Looks like we got that money back. But once Jimmy comes with the record, will be updated. We'll have everything situated. Just for right now, we're just going to try to give you guys the picks and see if we can make some more money here. Now, I'm going to start off a little bit backwards here. So my apologies here. I'm just going to do it the way I capped this game. So I capped the first game with the Memphis Lakers game. So the Lakers actually are uh, home favorite, 7.5 favorite against this Memphis Grizzlies team. The total is not out yet, and I'm checking here as I'm checking right now just to make sure that if we have any updates here because we're filming this show at 8:52 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So this is still on a Thursday night, but we're going to go ahead and just try to, do the best that we can. At this moment, there is no total for this game, but I don't have any issues or have any spread on the total anyway. So you're not going to really get that much for me anyway in that regard. So for the most part, the Lakers are extending their stay at the house. They won three straight overtime wins. Two of those was against OKC. One of those was without OKC's MVP and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. AD hasn't played as well. The injuries for this matchup with the Memphis Grizzlies and the Lakers, it shows that it's going to be DeAnthony Melton is going to be continue to be out. Well, I believe he may be questionable here, but it shows that he's out so far for right now at this point. But Brandon Clark is considered out as well. Anthony Davis is questionable, and Alex Caruso is probable. So probable for Alex Caruso. He hasn't played in a while. We do want him coming back, and I say we do because I'm a Laker fan. We do want Alex Caruso back in this lineup. Lakers, though, the last few games they've been playing pretty trash. Like I said, they have an extended stay here for all the guys that's coming in, going three straight overtimes, and also just being very bad at defense in the inside, to be particular. Now, Lakers paint defense, points in the paint, they're ranked third worst in the last three games. Allowing opponents to just do whatever they like. There's no effort there. And a lot of that has to do with not having Anthony Davis, his big rim protector. And once we lost Dwight Howard and once we lost JaVale McGee, we're just looking for Marcus Gasol to be lateral. And that's something that he's not going to be doing here. So I don't think that we're going to anticipate any time soon that the Lakers paint defense to be any better. But I do think that we're going against a team that specializes in the paint in Memphis. So there may be some ways we'll be able to figure this out. Now, once again, they haven't been playing as well the last three games. The 29th ranked offense is the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they dropped 60 points both times in the paint against the Lakers. That's terrible. That's terrible even saying it out loud. And I know Frank Vogel, who hangs his hat off of having a defensive mind, I know he's pretty much annoyed with that. So I definitely would say you're probably going to see some adjustments there, especially coming into a game that the team emphasized on shooting inside the paint and going inside the paint. So I think Frank is going to have a great game plan against this Memphis Grizzlies team. So I'm kind of leaning Lakers here, and I'm going to take the Lakers actually. So Lakers been playing bad in the paint, but on the other outside of their defense has still been intact. This is a still great defensive team. They're ranked number 4 in opponents' fast break points per game, and also ranked third in opponents' 3-point percentage within those last three games. So in that same span of them being terrible in the paint, they still been holding guys to a great 3-point percentage that you could still live by and win in this league at this moment, because that's what everyone wants to do, is shoot threes. And then also they're keeping the transitions scoring to a minimum and rank 4 in that regard. So that's a really good stat to keep an eye out on. And they're also ranked third in opposing 3-point percentage for the season. So that's just not an anomaly in these last 3 games. They actually do that throughout the season. Now, Memphis, they're coming off a great win, and they cost us the sweep with this Hornets game. And a lot of that has to do with them not doing what I thought they were going to do. I thought they were going to come in and be a paint force, try to take it straight to the Charlotte Hornets' mouth. That's not what they did. They came out exclusively shooting straight lights out from three. Grayson Allen, to be exact, he was the one of the main guys that came out and shot very well in that first quarter. Now, that's something I don't believe that's going to happen in this game. Now, they won that game 130 to 114 against Charlotte. They still didn't really kind of convince me that that was something that they're going to be doing long term. For the season, they're ranked 23rd in 3-point attempts and 16th in 3-point percentage for the season. In that game, Kyle Anderson had 6 from 8 from 3 points. So he shot crazy from three, and that's a slow jumper. And Grayson Allen, he went crazy, 5 for 12. Is that crazy? Well, no, he really didn't go crazy. He just got the green light early. He shot 4 for 5 from three in the first quarter, and after that, he shot 1 for 7. So the hot start did help him to get the lead early in this game against the Hornets. It did seem like he got the green light. They let him shoot 7 more of those things, and he only hit one of them. So that does show me that that's probably something that's not going to be replicated in this game against a team, again, like the Lakers, that are pretty good on the perimeter. Now, Memphis is tied with Detroit, the second worst rebounding per game at defensive rebounding per game at 28, and dead last and opposing 3-point percentage in the last 3 games. So they're going to give up those threes, and I believe that the Lakers should be able to make some threes. They've been shooting terrible the last 3 games. The Lakers have 30% from the three, not good at all. There's some guys that you expect to be playing a lot better, and I believe that you're going to see the Lakers play a lot better. One of the trends that I want to highlight in this matchup as well is the first quarter over. It seems like it's a look for both of these guys. The Lakers at home, the over in the first quarter hit 9 of the last 12 times. And Memphis last 10 games, 7 of those times, the over in the first quarter has hit as well. So that's something I'm going to look for, possibly as being an addition. But for right now, I had the Lakers spread. I made a number for this game already, and I had the Lakers at 10. And that's without AD. AD is questionable here, so if he comes in, I believe this line does get bet up to 10, and right now it's at 7.5. So I'm going to take the Lakers minus 7.5 to kind of get this Memphis Grizzlies team in check. Them having these guys out, I think that's still a big issue here. The only thing I would say in Memphis defense here is that Valanciunas can possibly get to the paint. I just don't think that they're going to allow Valanciunas to average 20 points or get 20 points off of him, which he has been averaging these last 6 games, about 20 points. So I don't think they're going to allow him to do that. And I'm going to take the Lakers to score, to beat these guys by at least 10 points and taking that 7.5. I would lean if this total was at anywhere around 225, even though these guys are a slow pace and it kind of contradicts against them going to 10. I think it's possibly an over spot here. So 225, something around that range. But I think you might see something higher than that. But in the next game, and that is to say that is just what it is. But this next game is very dear, here and dear to me. It's the Cavaliers, the Cleveland Cavaliers, going on the road at Portland Trail Blazers. Trailblazers, if I'm not mistaken, I have them at 4.5 here, which they are at FanDuel 4.5, and also that pick with the Lakers is at FanDuel 7.5. That's what I got it at. This Portland Trailblazers team against the Cavs. The Cavs here are on the road. They're going to be without Larry Nance Jr., which we already spoke on. Now, that guy's eating chicken McNuggets, 120 chicken McNuggets right now. It doesn't seem like he cares too much about his recovery, in my opinion. So I would definitely give them some negative points on that regard. Now, this Portland team, they're coming off of a game right now that's going on as we speak against the Philadelphia 76ers, and they're going tough. Going tough at the 76ers. They were actually they're underdogs here in this spot. They're at home as well. Right now they're winning. I mean, oh, sorry. Right now they're only trailing 3 points, but they're 5.5 dogs, and they came out hot. They came out hot. Looks like Lillard came to play. Look like these guys are all the way dialed in. It's mostly about this Cavs team for me, though. It's about this Cavs team rather than it is being about Portland. Portland is on the second half of a back-to-back, and like I said, they are playing the 76ers. This Cavs team, though, they got they butt smacked against the Denver Nuggets. I thought they were going to come out soft early, but I didn't think they were going to get blown out. And I don't think the team or the coach believed that they were going to get blown out as much as they did as well. Now, we cashed with them because we had the Denver Nuggets -3.5 in the first quarter. After that, though, it doesn't seem like there's any excuses that could be made that there had no effort here on offense, no effort on defense. Seems like they couldn't get anything going in this game. And it said, and the coach actually said that. Burgerstaff said, there's no excuse the way we played tonight. He also alluded to that basketball aside, you do not let people treat you that way. Man, those words right there kind of got me. It kind of got me a little choked up, thinking like, man, somebody's getting bullied out here. What's going on? Is somebody getting bullied? It does appear that he's trying to stick up for his kids here. He's running down the street and saying, "Who's picking on my kids?" And honestly, the Denver Nuggets look like they were definitely out there. He also went on to say that it appears that the Nuggets came out to embarrass the Cavs, and Wednesday, you know what I mean, having that game, it definitely looked like they were embarrassed. I mean, for Isaac, of course, he said that we cannot allow this, and that's a rookie coming out saying this. I didn't hear anything from some of these veterans, though. That's one of the things that I was looking for. I was looking for quotes for veterans. The fact that we don't have any quotes for these guys, Andre Drummond's possibly out. Obviously, with the addition of Jared Allen and having him in the starting lineup, it does a feel. I feel that that's maybe detrimental to the chemistry. Having these young guys, young guards that's going to be here long term, like Okoro, who is speaking out, saying that this is something that they can't allow. Having Sexton, who's always going to bring it in and out, day and out. I believe though what the problem was for the Cavs in this game, the last game, my apologies, was that Darius Garland got into early foul trouble. Once that happens, you're just really picking and choosing who's going to touch the ball and try to drive it after Sexton gets the ball. If Sexton's denied, then you typically would pass it off to Garland, who's a great ball handler who can still penetrate the defense. That wasn't happening, and you've seen it firsthand that they couldn't allow that. I mean, they weren't really being able to play. The Cavs are going through all of that without having to practice. Losing Larry Nance, having these guys added to the starting lineup, messing up the chemistry. They're doing all this without practice. It doesn't seem like they're going to be able to get a practice off yet either in this game as well. And their last three games, it shows that they're pretty much bad on defensive stats. They came in this season very good, very strong defensively. Not the last three games. They're ranked 29th in opposing 3-point percentage, 27th in opposing points in the paint, dead last in opponent field goal percentage, and dead last in defensive rating in the last three games. I don't want anything to do with the Cavs at this point. I think a lot of things are just going downhill. Burkenstaff did try to make a point to say that they got punked. That doesn't help the team and what their spirits are, especially when they're not having any effort on defense. And if you can't get the offense running, I'm just going to go ahead and say that the Portland Trailblazers continue to fight hard. Now, I kind of want the Portland Trailblazers to lose today, to be honest with you. That way we can have them coming off of a loss, playing the next game, knowing that they have a weaker opponent in the Cavs and just punching them in the mouth as if they were trying to do with this Philly team. But Philly is obviously a better team. They got way better players, and they're pushing the tempo. They're scoring 93 points in the third quarter right now. So they're pushing the tempo. They're scoring points. That's something that Portland likes to do. That's something that I believe that they're going to have to continue to do in this matchup. I believe Portland is the way to go here in this spot, and it necessarily is not really about what they're going to bring to the table, rather than them pushing the tempo and scoring. I believe that it's just going to be about the Cavs. Cavs is all already, you know, decimated here, and it may be a spot at the over as well. I believe this total is out at 222 and a half. At 222. I like the over there as well. I'm going to take Portland though. I'm going to take Portland at -4.5. I like them just to come out and beat up on this Cavs team. Cavs are a bad team. Definitely, they have spots and moments that they show and play great defense, but I don't think that they are capable of doing that because they're not fighting for each other. And that's one thing that Jared Allen alluded to as well. Jared Allen said, I think player wise, we have to be player wise, I'm sorry, I have this. There it is. I got this messed up. I think player wise, we have to be able to lock in more, know our coverages, and play together for each other. Play together for each other means that somebody's out here a little selfish. And if you're taking somebody's touches, Andre Drummond, I would be selfish as well. So these guys that speaking up, Okoro, Allen, kind of gives me an idea that there's a split in this locker room, and I'm going to go against that. And I think that this Cavs team is possibly on a downhill until something happens. Somebody gets traded. We have seen Drummond on the trade block, and people are being negotiating trades. I wouldn't be surprised if he get laid on one of these contender teams, or any of that nature. Nets I've heard a lot about, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a sleeper team that you haven't heard of. But in going to this game, it really has a lot to do with um, the Cavs just being very bad. The trends here in this matchup, the Cavs covered. I'm sorry, the Cavs haven't covered the last four road games, and they only covered 10. I'm sorry, two of the last 10 games. Now Portland has gone over 7 of the last 10 games, and they first quarter over. And both of these guys, it hit 7 of the last 10 times for both of these teams. So the first quarter over seems like a really good spot. It may be that may be the only addition that I add on. Definitely is that first quarter over. I haven't been able to bet it, but it is at FanDuel. I'm not gonna make it official here, but once I make that bet, I'm gonna take that in. Right now, it's just gonna take Portland 4.5. So as of right now, we got Lakers -7.5, Portland -4.5. And those are the first two picks right there. That's why I'm thinking it's going to be a good spot for us to start making some money here in this spot. And that first quarter over for this Cavs Portland team, it makes sense to me, especially after the Cavs just getting smacked up by Denver. It just makes sense that first quarter over there. Also here, let's go into this next game. Now, the next game is very interesting. It's another team that's playing right now. It's the Orlando Magic taking on the Sacramento Kings. Sacramento Kings are 6.5 point favorites. Total is not out yet. I anticipate this total to be something around 222, 224, something around that range. But at this moment, there's nothing out that we can see, or anything. Let me just double check here. And yes, no, I don't see anything out there for right now. But for the injury wise, we do have a few injuries here to speak on, especially one that happened today that was very important. The Frank Mason left the game today with the injury. That's a big news there because they just recently added him in off the G League squad. He came in for the Cole Anthony injury, who hasn't played today. They are really decimated right now. Watching this game against Golden State Warriors, they did come out and covered the first half, which I lost money on. I end up taking the Golden State Warriors third quarter though, because I knew they weren't going to be able to do anything because they don't have a point guard, man. They got forwards going up going up, backing down, going up the court, backing down to get up the court. I mean, that's terrible, bro. Especially going against this guard heavy team in Sacramento Kings, another guard heavy team that they're going against today in Golden State Warriors. They look like they're going to lose this game in Golden State Warriors, which I kind of predicted. If that's the case, they lost 4 of the last 5 games in February. Orlando just doesn't seem like they're in a good spot. They have really good uh, spots. I mean, like Okiki is playing very well. He looks like he's very confident. They got Burke out there who's been, I believe he's 12th in rebounding. He's balling right there, very good in the offensive boards. I just don't believe that they have enough scoring, especially when guys like Vucevic and Terrence Ross continue to have Vucevic, and I'm sorry, he's been balling, but Terrence Ross continue to have bad games, shooting 30%. I'm sorry, 20% from three, very terrible there. So I don't think he's going to be, you know, somebody that we could count on to help cover this Orlando's Magic spot. On the other end, there's so many guys on this Kings squad that could come out and ball out and be game changers for this team. Orlando, I'm not seeing that many. I do see Dwayne Bacon playing well. He is going up the court. They have to have him at point guard. They have to have Terrence Ross at point guard. That's just terrible, and it's something that's just gonna show in this game against Sacramento Kings. And I think the odds makers know that, setting that number at 6.5, which is a premium price for a team like this Kings team. Now, the Kings are coming off a tough loss, though, against the 76ers. But before that, they covered 8 straight, and that was 8 and won 8 of the last 10 as well. So straight up, and a lot of that has to do with De'Aaron Fox, who's looks like he's getting snubbed right now on the All-Star voting. But for the most part, he's becoming a great leader of this team and balling out. The last 7 games, he's scoring 30 points per game. 7.8%. I'm sorry, 7.8 assists at 51% from the field, along with another good rookie here in Tyrese Halliburton, who we already spoke on several times on this show. He's been the Batman to De'Aaron Fox Superman the last 7 games, scoring 51% from the field, 45% from three, 13 points per game, along with 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1.4 steals per game. Fox needs to Fox he needs to he thinks that I'm sorry. Fox thinks that everything went clicking once these games with Memphis were postponed, which was back in January 24th, 25th. They started a run and started to turn the tide from there. And I believe he's right. If you look at the numbers here, they allowed 6.5 fewer points per 100 possessions over the last 2 weeks. That kind of gets to what Fox was saying. We've had extra time for practice, he says, and since then it's been pretty much uphill, and that goes to show that these guys been covering, been winning. They only lost, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they only lost about 2 of the last 10 or 3 of the last 10, and this other team for this Orlando Magic team, they lost 7 of their last 10. So that's terrible. It's a tie there. You can definitely see the difference between the last 10 records, last 10 games between the two. In that game against the Orlando Magic, where these guys actually won already. So they beat the Magic within those last 6 games. It was 121 to 107 when they last played the Magic. In that game, De'Aaron Fox, he's had a terrible day. He shot 4 for 17. He was only two rebounds away though from a triple double. So he actually played pretty well on the other side of the ball, having about 12 assists and just short of eight rebounds. Almost had a triple double there. All the Kings on the team though at that all the starting Kings had 16 plus points, 16 points plus each, all the starters for that game to help secure that win. And they actually shot terrible from the foul line as well. Shot 65% from the foul line against that Magic team the last time out. They should improve there for sure. And also, I think Fox is definitely going to be balling out once again. Is because these guys don't have a point guard. It's going to be a lot more defense being exuded. It's going to be a lot more energy being exuded on defense for the Magic. And coming off a back-to-back, having this team having a few time to rest here with this Kings team, I definitely would think that the Kings and De'Aaron Fox should come out and play really well. And I'm also going to take 2 plays on here. I'm going to take 2 plays here. I'm going to back the Kings here at -6.5, and I'm also going to take the De'Aaron Fox prop over 25.5 points. Once again, over the last 7 games, he scored 30 points per game. Also having that bad taste in his mouth, not being able to score on these guys the last time, only scoring 16 points, having 4 for 17 from the field. I think that's going to give him some type of motivation to pull this off and cover this, go over this total at 25.5 points. So I'm going to take that at FanDuel as well as taking the Kings here. I'm going to take the Kings. I'm going to take the Kings at -6.5, and the player prop for De'Aaron Fox. I'm gonna just make sure I give you guys the juice here for that. My apologies, I didn't write that down. And the player prop for him is going to be -110, 225.5. I'm going to take that right there. It makes sense to me. I think that this Orlando Magic team, they're just going to be in a bad spot. I kind of expect Cole Anthony to possibly play, though. He's not listed that he's going to be in or out at this moment, but Frank Mason is probably he's not coming back. He's not going to be in. Evan Fournier could possibly play. I don't think those two guys coming back is going to be that much of a difference, though, in my opinion, just because Evan Fournier is going to take away touches that these guys have already been helping out, keeping things afloat, and he has the highest usage rate since Fultz dropped. So when he's in the court, he has the second highest. When Fultz is out, since Fultz been out, Evan Fournier has been taking the reins of been having the highest usage rate. I couldn't get that out. But I like this squad here. I think Tyrese Halliburton have a great game. I believe Buddy Hield is going to have a great game. And Marvin Bagley has actually been playing really well as well. I haven't said anything about him positive on this show yet, but he's been playing pretty well, knocking down those corner threes. Very impressed there. Now, this last spot, we're going to go back to the well here. We're going to start off with the Spurs at Atlanta Hawks -2 for for the Hawks here. Their favorite -2, and I believe this total here is at 22-28. If I'm not mistaken, I was making lines here before I got the actual lines here. So let me get 1 second here. 1 second. Okay, so I think this is at 228.5. I like this Hawks team. They're really good. They came out, covered that game against the Dallas Mavericks. Now we cashed the over 16.5 points with Kevin Herter the last time out. It was points and assists, 16.5. That helped us, get past this 3-1 day, get us past this 3-1 day, and we almost swept, but neither here nor there. Now I believe that this can possibly cash again against the other team in Texas. It's the team that's going to be without LaMarcus Aldridge. That's the only injury for them. For this Hawks team, it's going to be Rondo out. Chris Dunn is going to be out. DeAndre Hunter is going to be out. And Bogdanovich, he actually should be returning in mid-March. Also, DeAndre Hunter is possibly coming back a few weeks from now, from what it looks like. Now, I expect Kevin Herter to do the same thing that he did last time. Continue to try to get guys involved. Once he gets the ball from Trae Young, make something happen. If not, dish it over to an actual clean look, because he's always going to break down the defense. It looks like the last 6 games, he's averaging 15.6.7. I'm sorry, 15.6 points per game, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 49% from the field, 50% from three. He's going up compared to what we actually said last time, along with having a team high three-pointers made, and he shot 3 3-pointers in the last game and hit those as well. So he's been doing everything. And until these guys are expected to come back, Hunter, Rondo, I'm going to think of Kevin Herter to continue to blossom into an exceptional role player, as he's already been showing us as of late. Now, we cashed that prop quite easily. Now, the market is adjusting here. It looks like it's setting that same total at 17.5. So it went up 1 point. I still don't think that's enough here. The Spurs here, they're now on a 7 game rodeo road trip. Spurs, they're looking to bounce back after having that loss with the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry just went off. And after the game, DeAndre Murray, he actually said we're not going to have to go up against Steph Curry on this road trip. Now, this may be baby Steph Curry and Trae Young, so I wouldn't be just too excited about getting off the road and not playing Steph Curry, which is funny. When the last time we seen Trae Young, he was yelling at officials, getting a $20,000 fine for doing that. I like what he said, though, honestly. He said I was bleeding, all this stuff, but neither here nor there. The Spurs, though, they're coming off of a split series again with the Golden State Warriors. They started Devin Vassell, who got his first career start. That's the first time of a rookie lottery pick to start since Tim Duncan. Very good company there. He had 6.6 rebounds. The Spurs, though, on the defensive side, actually been pretty bad. Spurs are ranked 26 in opposing 3-point percentage at 38%, and also ranked 16th in opposing assists per game, and that's allowing opponents to have 25 assists per game. In that span, in the last three games, from what I meant to say is 25 points per game that they allow. Atlanta has averaged 25 point assists per game this year, so then they're also holding opponents to about 24. So I would think of it to be a pretty much of a nice fluent offense of type of game here, because based off of just what the stats are reading, also these guys are not really necessarily known for having lockdown defense. The last three games, it is in favor for, looks like, the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks are scoring about 11 more points per game at 113 points to the Spurs 102. And in that same span, they're averaging 6% more on three at 39% to the 33% that the Spurs are bringing up. Also, an effective field goal percentage, they're being a lot more efficient, 51.9%. To the Spurs 45% over the last three games. One of the things that we do know is that the Spurs do not force. They do not turn over the ball. They're very good on turnovers. So they are going to have that margin there, and also they actually forced five more turnovers than the Atlanta Hawks. I don't think this is going to become a defensive battle. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the well. I think Kevin Herter continues to ball, continues to eat. Having 17 and a half, it maybe still might be just not enough. I think he's going to score 20 points. So having assists along with this 17 is just going to give us a little bit more of an indicator there. I like this look. 17 and a half, Kevin Herter. It makes sense to me. Once again, the last time we got it, it was at 16 and a half minus 108. This time it's at 17 and a half minus 113. So that's going to finalize this card for me. I'm going to take Kevin Herter over 17 and a half points and assists minus 113. That's at FanDuel. To wrap up everything here, just to make sure you guys are aware, I'm doing a few games every few so often, just because we have a small sample times of a lot of this stuff. But for the most part, it's going to be the it's going to be the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm taking the Los Angeles Lakers minus 7.5. I just believe that the Lakers can score. Is going to get up to 10 points. Beat these guys by 10 points. I will lean over first quarter over as well, but as of right now, those are just leans. I'm going to take the Lakers for sure at minus 7.5. Next game, I'm going to take the Portland Trailblazers minus 4.5. Also, I'm going to take within that look, I'm also going to be looking at the Sacramento Kings at minus 6.5. I think the Sacramento Kings is a good look. One of the biggest points. I think this is one of the biggest edges I think I have. A lot of this has to do with what we're seeing tonight. I mean, Frank Mason is out. These guys just don't have a point guard. They should allow these guys to do whatever they want, to be honest with you. So I'm going to take that as well as 6.5. And then I'm going to take the De'Aaron prop over points, 25.5 points. I'm going to take the De'Aaron Fox prop over 25.5 points. And for that point on, that's pretty much the card here for me. I'm going to take those all those games is going to be posted up on my Twitter, Trot Wam OG. Uh, and we want everyone to make sure you guys get to this CAC as well, as much as I am, man. It sucks that Jimmy's not here, but once he gets back, we're gonna have a record there, give you guys the exact record, let you know all the details there. But for this point, man, appreciate everyone for tuning in. I'm Trot Wam. This is Odds.com, Odds HQ on YouTube. Be sure to tune in next time we get back. Be right here again. Until then, get to the money, man. Have a good one. Peace.